I've never told anyone this story before, not because I didn't want to, but because they might hear me. They might realize I'm still alive. I've changed my name 3 times since it happened. I move every few months. I don't have social media. I pay for everything in cash. But I need to warn you, because once it knows your name, your full name, your real name, it will find you. It started on a Tuesday night in October, ordinary in every way. Our family had just moved into a new house in a quiet suburb called Baywood Acres. Dad got a promotion. Mom wanted to be closer to her sister, and my brother Jamie and I were just excited about the bigger bedrooms. The first few weeks were normal. Making friends at school, unpacking endless boxes, arguing over who got the better bathroom. Then came the night I first heard it. I was almost asleep when the sound outside my window jolted me awake. A low, rasping whisper, so quiet I thought I'd imagined it. Michael. My name, nothing else, just my name, spoken in a voice that didn't sound human. It was too deep, too hollow, like someone speaking through a long metal pipe filled with water. I sat up, heart hammering. The digital clock read 12:17 a.m. When I peeked through the blinds, the backyard was empty, just shadows from the old oak tree swaying in the breeze. The next morning, I asked if anyone else had heard anything strange. Mom and Dad exchanged glances before Dad said, "What kind of strange, Mike?" I shrugged it off. Nothing, probably just the wind. But I knew it wasn't the wind. The wind doesn't know my name. 3 nights later, it happened again. But this time, it wasn't my name. I was up late finishing homework when I heard my brother's frightened voice from his room across the hall. Mike, come here!" Jamie was sitting up in bed, blankets pulled to his chin. He was 10, 4 years younger than me, but he wasn't the type to scare easily. "There's someone outside," he whispered. "They said my name." I felt the blood drain from my face. "What exactly did you hear?" "A voice, really weird and scratchy. It just said, 'Jamie,' 3 times, like it was calling me." I checked the time, 12:17 a.m. exactly. The next night, we were ready. Dad set up his old hunting cameras around the perimeter of the house. Mom made sure all the windows and doors were locked. Jamie and I agreed to stay in the same room. At 12:16, we were all wide awake, waiting. The minute hand on my watch ticked over to 12:17. "Catherine." Mom's name in that same unnatural voice. It came from the direction of the kitchen window. Dad grabbed his baseball bat and was out the back door before Mom could stop him. He searched the entire yard, the sides of the house, even checked the roof. Nothing. No footprints in the soft dirt beneath the windows. No disturbed branches. The cameras showed nothing but empty darkness. But the voice had been real. We all heard it. The next day, we noticed other things. The miller's dog across the street had disappeared. Mrs. Abernathy, 2 doors down, was putting up missing posters for her tabby cat, and the McGuires on the corner were arguing loudly about someone tampering with their backyard motion lights. That night, it was Dad's turn. David. Just his name, nothing more. But the voice came from the front yard this time, near the big maple tree. Dad called the police, who arrived 20 minutes later. They searched the neighborhood, checked the woods behind our house, found nothing. The officer looked at us with concern. Has anyone been threatening your family? Any reason someone might want to scare you? We couldn't think of anything. We were just ordinary people. Dad was an accountant. Mom taught second grade. I played soccer and got average grades. Jamie collected rocks and built model airplanes. When the police left, Dad moved the cameras to the front yard. We would catch whoever was doing this. But the cameras failed us again. At 12:17 a.m., the lights in the house flickered just for a second, and when we checked the footage later, there was only static during those exact moments. The voice continued every night, one name, once per night, always at 12:17 a.m., always from a different location around the house. Michael, Jamie, Catherine, David. Our family started falling apart. Mom and Dad argued about what to do. Dad wanted to stay and fight. Mom wanted to leave. I stopped sleeping. Jamie wet his bed twice. We were all jumping at shadows. Then came the night when the pattern broke. It was Jamie's turn again. We were all in the living room. We'd all taken to staying together during the witching hour, as Dad called it. Jamie was curled up against Mom on the couch. Dad sat by the window, still convinced he could catch whoever was tormenting us. At 12:17, all the lights in the house went out. Not just flickered, went completely dark. In the silence that followed, we heard it, closer than ever before. Jamie Andrew Holloway. My brother's full name, whispered directly at the living room window, so close it fogged the glass. Dad lunged for the door, but in the darkness he tripped over the coffee table. Mom screamed. I fumbled for my phone's flashlight. When I finally got the light on, Jamie was gone. The front door was wide open, swinging gently in the breeze. The police investigation found nothing. No fingerprints that didn't belong to us. No footprints outside. No sign of forced entry. The sergeant told us kids Jamie's age sometimes run away when there's stress at home. Had we been fighting more than usual? Of course we had been fighting. Something was stalking us, calling our names in the dead of night, but we couldn't tell them that. They already thought we were crazy, or worse, that we'd done something to Jamie ourselves. Days passed, then weeks. The police investigation slowed. Jamie's face appeared on milk cartons, on local news, on posters around town. And still, every night at 12:17 a.m., the voice came. Michael, Catherine, David. But now it would sometimes add, Jamie's waiting for you. Dad moved out after a month. He couldn't take the guilt, the feeling he'd failed to protect his son. Mom started taking pills to sleep through the night. I was the only one still listening, still trying to understand what was happening to us. I started researching folklore, urban legends, stories of mysterious voices, and missing children. I skipped school to spend days at the library, reading old books that smelled like dust and secrets. That's how I found Dr. Eleanor Marsh. She was a professor of folklore at the State University, specializing in supernatural predators across cultures. I emailed her, expecting no response, but she replied the same day. "This sounds like a naming entity," she wrote. "I've documented similar cases. I'd like to speak with you and your family." Dr. Marsh arrived the following evening. She was in her 60s, with silver hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. She walked through our house, touching walls, pausing at windows. Standing in Jamie's empty room, she closed her eyes and listened. "It's been here a long time," she said finally, "before your house was built, before this was even a town." "What is it?" I asked. "Different cultures have different names for it. The Algonquin called it a Wendigo. In parts of Europe, it's a type of fae. In Japan, a hungry ghost. But they all share common traits." She looked at me gravely. "They feed on fear. They isolate their victims, and they need to know your true name to take you." "To take you where?" Mom asked, her voice barely a whisper. Dr. Marsh shook her head. "No one knows for certain. Those who are taken never return." "Why us?" Dad demanded. He'd come back for the meeting, though he and Mom hardly spoke. "Why our family?" "You were vulnerable," Dr. Marsh said simply. "New to the area. Unknown. The entity needs time to learn names. Full names. It listens. It watches. It waits until it knows everything about you." "But how did it learn our names?" I asked. Dr. Marsh looked at me with sad eyes. "In the past, these entities were limited by how much information they could gather, but now we put everything online: social media, school directories, community newsletters." Ice slid down my spine as I remembered the photos Mom had posted when we moved in. "Welcome to our new home," the caption had tagged all of us. Full names. "It knows our names," I whispered. "All of our names." "Yes," Dr. Marsh said, "and now it's hunting you, one by one." We tried everything Dr. Marsh suggested: salt lines at the windows and doors, iron nails hammered into the threshold, protective symbols drawn in blessed chalk. Nothing worked. "Michael Thomas Holloway, Catherine Ann Holloway, David James Holloway." Full names now, every night, and growing closer. Dr. Marsh said there was only one solution. "You must separate," she told us. "Go far away from each other. Change your names legally. Create new identities. Never speak your old names again. Never contact each other again." "That's insane," Dad said. "We can't just abandon our lives." "Would you rather join Jamie?" Dr. Marsh asked quietly. The silence that followed was answer enough. That was 5 years ago. I haven't seen or spoken to my parents since. I don't know where they are or if they're even alive. I've moved 6 times, changed my name from Michael Thomas Holloway to Stephen Wright to Daniel Cooper to my current name, which I won't share here. I live alone. I work night shifts, so I'm never home at 12:17 a.m. I tell no one my real name, not even the fake ones I've used. I thought I was safe until last night. I was walking home from my shift at the warehouse. It was nearly dawn, the streets empty and silent. As I turned onto my block, I heard it, that familiar rasp like something dragging itself across dry leaves. It said my name, my new name, the one no one knows, the one I created and told no one. I ran. I'm still running because it knows my name. It knows all our names, and now it may know yours too. I found this story in a deep search while preparing other stories. I wanted to share it with you because I trust the source of the information. So, be careful when sharing your information. It could be a matter of life or death. If you're enjoying my stories, a like or a comment on my videos would be amazing. If you want to hear more, click on the linked video or playlist on the screen. Have a frightfully fantastic day.